Gonna go ahead and jump right into this third part here. Where we last left off, I was gonna work on health bars and other things like that. But before I get into that, I'm gonna finish up this knockback formula. So after hitting him a while, he falls back, but he doesn't get up. Let me just try to add something to this X position. Set that back to 2 like it was before. Anyways, so the second he hits the ground, we're going to set a get back timer. Get up timer. We're going to set that to about 3. And we're going to make a new event stating that if the get up timer is greater than 0, then every 1 second it will subtract from the get back timer. Get up timer. Anyways, so if this get up timer is equal to 1 only when the action event loops, then his animation will change to stand up, and after stand up, his stopped animation will begin. So he'll pretty much get up immediately after we knock him down. And you can see that here. Now, let's get into the health bars. Hope I can do something really basic here. So what we're going to do is create 4 health bars, 2 sets of 1. 2 sets will be 1. We're going to create 4 of them. First thing we're going to do is take this one here, turn it into a bar, horizontal bar. Set the initial value to 100. Going to set the minimum value to 0, and we're going to set the maximum value to 100. Going to make this green, or whatever color you prefer. Bring it up here. And we're going to leave it there. We're going to clone this object 4 times. We're going to take this counter too, bring it over here, drag it, and we're going to leave these 2 counters beneath it. What we're going to want to do first is make this one red, make this one red too. We're going to click on this one over here, and since this one is on the left and it says count type from right, you're going to want to change that to left. You're going to change this to left too. You're going to check the Y and X position, which is 30 by 27. You're going to move this to 30 by 27. Then you're going to move it backwards 1. Sorry, not backwards 1, probably backwards 2. Then you're going to check the Y and X position of this, which is 345 by 27. Then you're going to stretch it to match. Then we're going to order that back 1. Now, as far as attacks are concerned and how much damage it actually deals, you can do whatever you want with that. But I'm going to do something pretty basic. As you can see, this is the second counter, which is the enemy's counter. So for a quick punch, it'll take away about 5. Quick kick, 5. Slow punch, 10. And a slow kick, 10. I'm going to close all the groups. And we're going to start a new one titled HP. We're going to make so that if this first counter is greater, not greater, if it's lower than the value of this third counter, Then this third counter here is going to subtract 1. Sorry, let me go ahead and clarify where it is. Yeah, counter number 3 is right underneath this, so once this green bar goes down, the red one will go down slowly behind it. We're going to copy this, paste it, replace counter with counter 2, replace this red counter with counter 4. And we're just going to drag that right along. I'll go ahead and show you how that looks. Oh, but this should be the other way around. Forgot to mention the count. Oh yeah, that's right, that's right. The count is actually inverted, so you're going to read this from left. You're going to read counter 4 from left. You're going to read counter 3 from right. You're going to read counter 1 from right. Anyway, so now that that's done, let's get into a special move or something like that. I'm going to try to make something like a Hadouken, because I have an animation in here for something like that. Looks a little bit like that. In the frame that it begins on, he begins shooting it, is about at frame 10. So that's where I'm going to put my action point, in the middle of his hands. I'm going to put in frame 9 and 11 just in case. I'm going to flip that in the opposite direction and flip it back vertically. I don't want to waste too much time on this projectile, so I'll try to make it quick. Okay, so now we have a projectile with a little graphical effect here. What we're going to do is we're going to start a brand new group, and we're going to call that Projectile. We're also going to want to add in an edit box, if I can find it. Here it is. Now what we're going to do is make it so that if up is pressed, it'll set the text of the edit box to get text plus U for up. We're going to clone this about 8 times. Change this to down. Change this to right. Change this to left. Change this to fire button 1 for punch. And this to fire button 3 for kick. We're going to add an OR and another OR. Copy, paste, move this below the OR, move this below that. Change this to fire button 2 and change this to fire button 4. Meaning this event here is kick and this event here is punch. So we're going to change the edit box for those to P for punch and K for kick. We're going to go back up to these directional edit box edits. We're going to change the down to D, the right to R, and the left to L. And in case you don't know how that works, I'm going to show you exactly what it does. As soon as I resize that just a little bit. It's basically like a string of commands, but you don't want them to stay there forever. So what we're going to do is we're going to add to alterable value A of the edit box 10 times. And we're going to do that with each event. Now we're going to make so that if alterable value A is greater than 0, then it will subtract from alterable value A, and it's going to do it at a fairly quick rate. So the more you enter, the less slow, well, the less faster it adds to. So we're going to make so that if alterable value A is lower or equal to 0, then it'll set the text back to a blank state. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. As you see, if you press down once, it goes away quickly, but if you enter a barrage, it doesn't, and you can keep entering until it all goes away. Just gonna compare two general values. If this text is equal to, let's see, the half circle is the traditional fighting style trigger for projectile, so that's down, right, and punch. That's only if you're facing the right direction. So if that's right, and we're gonna make it so that it's only when one action event loops. We're gonna change the animation sequence to Hadouken. Then we're gonna go ahead and set this edit text back to a blank state. Gonna change this to the left direction. Go back to the edit box, change this R to L, and it'll pretty much do the same thing. Now when animation is playing, which is a Hadouken, in the current frame from earlier is equal to 19. I'm gonna drag this only one action, one event loops down here. We're gonna make so that he shoots a projectile, which is this, and it'll shoot in the projection of him at about a speed of 60. And just for graphical effects, I'm gonna make so that every 5 milliseconds it'll create this little graphical thing here at its hotspot. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys how that looks. Of course, the action point didn't quite work out. Oh, I know what that is, because it's not at the right frame of the actual Hadouken thing. That right frame would be 9, I think. No, 10. It's about 9 frames ahead, but let's quickly change that and test it out again. And there you have it. The last thing you want to do is go back to attacking, copy this, and replace that first event if your projectile collides with your opponent. You're gonna clear all of these events except for this and that. You're gonna alter one thing though. You're gonna add the balance to about 5, which should be the knockout balance, and you can subtract whatever you want from it. So if you take a look at that, you can hit him, you can step back a few feet, launch a projectile at him. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgot to destroy the projectile when it touches him. Should make everything work out fine. There you go. And there you have it.